dear learners, I am Dr. Muhammad Sahil Khan, Associate Professor from Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad. Today we will discuss about the assessment of value attainment at school level, sincerity, honesty, dignity of labor, cooperation, hard work and regulating behavior, respect to elders, tolerance, self-esteem. In this module, we will cover the themes like meaning of value, definition of values, types of values, assessment of value attainment at school level. Dear learners, let us first discuss the meaning of value. Values are the guiding principles of our lives. They are essential for positive human behavior and action in our daily lives. They are formed on the basis of interests, choices, needs, desires and preferences. Generally, value has been taken to mean moral ideas, general conception or orientation towards the world, or sometimes simply interest, attitudes, preferences, needs, sentiment and disposition. But sociologists use this term in a more precise sense to mean the generalized end which has the connotation of rightness, goodness or inherent desirability. It is important and lasting belief or ideas shared by the members of a culture about what is good or bad and desirable or undesirable. It has major influence on a person's behavior and attitude and serves as a broad guidelines in all situations. Let us see some definition of values. For better understanding, we should learn some important definition of values given by the different scholars. According to R.K. Mukherjee, values are socially approved desires and goals that are internalized through the process of conditioning, learning or socialization, and that become subjective preferences, standards and aspiration. According to Zeleznik and David, values are the ideas in the mind of man compared to norms in that they specify how people should behave. Values also attach degrees of goodness to activities and relationship. According to I.J. Lehner and N.J. Kube, values are an integral part of the personal philosophy of life, by which we generally mean the system of values by which we live. The philosophy of life includes our aims, ideals and manner of thinking and the principles of which we guide our behavior. According to T.W. Hippie, values are conscious or unconscious motivators and justifiers of the action and judgment. If we analyze the above definitions, the following facts about the value came into being. Number 1, the values are beliefs. Number 2, values are socially approved desires and goals. Value develop in the mind of man as per the norms of the society. Values are related to the personal philosophy of life, by which we mean the system of values by which we live. Philosophy of life we mean aims, ideals, way of thinking and the principles through which we govern our behavior. Dear student, let us discuss the types of values. Johnston and Munn 2011 identified 3 categories of values. These are personal and individual values. These are type of value developed and learned by an individual. It helps the learner to adapt effectively with his immediate environment. The individual will decide what is good, fair and bad for him, and this to a great extent influences his attitudes and behavior. Group or organizational values. The values or value system is defined by the particular group for its members. It spells out their modus operandi. This type of values is as operational in a religious setting, a school, family, industries, religious group and some other groups which are operational in every human society. Societal or cultural values. Societal or cultural values are an acceptable way of life of a distinct society, cultural, ethnic group, country and state. It defined values as acceptable behavior of its citizen and the operation of its institution. Dear learners, now let us discuss the assessment of value attainment at school level. Before we discuss the assessment of value at school level, we should understand what is assessment. Assessment is the systematic process of documenting and using empirical data on the knowledge, skill, attitude and beliefs to refine programs and improve student learning. Assessment data can be obtained from directly examining student work to assess the achievement of learning outcome, or can be based on data from which one can make inference about learning. Assessment is often used interchangeably with test, but not limited to test. Assessment can focus on the individual learner, the learning community, class, workshop or other organized group of learners, a course, an academic program, the institution or the educational system as a whole. The word assessment came into use in an educational context after the Second World War. As a continuous process, assessment establishes measurable and clear student learning outcomes for learning, provisioning a sufficient amount of learning opportunities to achieve these outcomes, implementing a systematic way of gathering, analyzing and interpreting evidence to determine how well student learning matches expectation, and using the collected information to inform improvement in student learning. The final purpose of assessment practices in education depends on the theoretical framework of the practitioner and researchers, their assumptions and beliefs about the nature of human mind, the origin of knowledge and the process of learning. Now, we discuss the attainment of values at school level by the students. The values can be assessed in the school by observing their behavior, because the change in behavior will explain the attainment of value. Here we discuss the following values that a student will learn in the school, and we will try to assess that how much he had acquired these values. Number 1, sincerity. Vocabulary.com defines the word sincerity as sincerity is a mix of seriousness and honesty. If you do things with sincerity, people will trust you, along with patience and compassion. Sincerity is one of those qualities we all probably wish we had more of, and wish other people had more of too. People who show sincerity are being serious, kind and truthful. Politicians who show sincerity tend to do well because people believe them. An apology full of sincerity will probably be accepted. On the other hand, if you show no sincerity by being sarcastic or dismissive, well, who wants an apology like that? The Oxford English Dictionary and most scholars state that sincerity from sincere is derived from the Latin sincerus, meaning clean, pure and sound. First discussed by Aristotle in his Nicomachean Ethics, its resurfaced to become an ideal virtue in Europe and North America in the 17th century, and it gained considerable movement during the Romantic movement, when sincerity was first celebrated as an artistic and social ideal. It is clear from the above discussion that we evaluate the attainment of value of sincerity among the student in the school by observation method. The school teacher will teach in the class about the sincerity, and he will present himself as a model. After teaching, he will see his honesty, truth, punctuality, kindness, cleanliness. If any student has acquired these things in his habit, we will assess that he has attained the value of sincerity. Number 2, honesty. Honesty is an important value that should attain by the student at the school. Here first we see what the definition of honesty are. According to Merriam-Webster, honesty as fairness and straightforwardness of conduct or adherence to the facts. The Oxford English Dictionary defines honesty as the quality of being honest. Honest is in turn defined as free of deceit, truthful and sincere, morally correct or virtuous, attributive, fairly earned, especially through hard work done. with good intention even if unsuccessful or misguided, simple, unpretentious and unsophisticated. Honesty is the face of moral character which shows the virtuous attributes such as integrity, righteousness, absence of theft and lying, cheating, etc. Honesty also involves being trustworthy, loyal, fair and sincere. Honesty is the best policy is a proverb of Benjamin Franklin, while the quote honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom is attributed to Thomas Jefferson. As used in a letter to Nathaniel Macon, April 30 is National Honesty Day in the United States. The school should impart this value among the students through lecture cum demonstration method. After the teaching learning process, teacher should check the level of attainment of value. For checking the attainment of value, teacher should create an artificial situation like throw some coins on the ground and observe the honesty of the child. Similarly, he will give some homework, next he will check his homework. If a student makes some excuses, then teacher should inquire about it and make sure that he is not lying. But if any student say straightforward that I do not do my homework because I play cricket in the day and due to tiredness I sleep early in the night, it means he is not lying. In this way, teacher can evaluate the attainment of this value. Dignity of labor. It is another important attribute of value. According to Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, the dignity of labor is the philosophy that all types of jobs are respected equally and no occupation is considered superior and none of the jobs should be discriminated on any basis. Though one's occupation for his or her livelihood involves physical work or mental labor, it is held that the job carries dignity compared to the jobs that involve more intellect than body. Social reformers such as Basawa and his contemporary Sharanas as well as Mahatma Gandhi were prominent advocates of the dignity of labor. According to Mahatma Gandhi, you must teach the people to labor with their hands and realize the dignity of work. It is the duty of the school to inculcate the dignity of labor among the student. This value will be transferred among the student through manual work. The school should organize different types of program which encourages manual work such as NSS camp, community work, Swachhta Abhiyan, etc. Teacher should teach to student about the dignity of labor and make an arrangement to do work with the community. A student went to the nearby village or mohalla and do the manual work. In village, a student will help the farmer at the time of sowing seeds in the field. In this way, students learn about the sowing of seeds and understand the value of labor. He will understand the importance of farming. In the same way, student will clean some area. In this way, he will better understand the dignity of labor. He will learn that no work is small or big, but every work is important. At the time of work, teacher should observe the work of student and assess their work on the basis of their activeness and involvement in the work. If students enjoy the work, it means he understands the value of dignity of labor. On the other hand, if any student does not enjoy the work, it means he does not understand value of dignity of labor. Number 4, cooperation and hard work. Cooperation and hard work is another important attribute of value. The Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, define as cooperation is the process of groups of organisms working or acting together for common, mutual or some underlying benefit, as opposed to working in competition for selfish benefit. It is well known that any big or small work can be done with the mutual cooperation. The student will learn the value of cooperation in the teamwork. Teacher should divide the student in many groups and make one captain of each group, and captain is free to select his members. The teacher should give them a task and time and ask each group to complete this task in the given time. After it, he observed the formation of group and see why some students are selected by captain. in the first and which students are selected in the last, and some students are still not taken by any group captain. In this formation of group, teacher will evaluate who is most cooperative and who is least cooperative. When the captain works with his group, he needs cooperation from the member of the group. In this way, they will learn the value of cooperation. Here, each group wants to finish his work on or before time, so the whole group do the hard work for achieving the goal. Hard work needs dedication, love for work, and patience and passion. Those groups completed his task first, it will be evaluated and awarded on the basis of hard work and good cooperation with the fellow members. In this way, student will learn and understand the value of hard work and cooperation. Number 5, self-regulating behavior. Self-regulating is the ability to understand and manage your behavior and your reaction to feeling and the things happening around you. It is one of the important value. Our ability to regulate or manage our behavior allows us to focus when there are the distraction, pay attention to the most important information, take turns, wait, follow rules, adapt to new situation, do what is socially expected, suppress outbursts of anger and take the challenges. Behavior regulation develops gradually during childhood. This process does not happen overnight, and some children are able to cope with daily stresses more easily than others. A child's ability to regulate his behavior affects his later development. This was highlighted in a famous experiment about self-regulation, in which 4-year-old children were given one marshmallow and told they could have the one marshmallow immediately or several marshmallows if they waited for the adult to come back into the room. Around 30% of the children were able to wait, and these children did better at school and university later in life, showed less antisocial behavior and were less likely to use drugs. Number 6, respect to elders. In India, peoples are living in the joint family. Children learn the respect to their elders from their parents. In the family, fathers and mothers respect their parents. The child learns and imbibe the same. There is a very old saying, as you sow, so shall you reap. Neither is it new for us nor are we unaware of what it means. We must ensure that our kids respect their elders. If we give them the right kind of training from the beginning only, it will get inculcated in their behavior and they will start practicing it as they grow. Our elders, be it our parents, teachers or our uncles and aunts, expect only one thing from us, that is respect for them. It is not only your responsibility, but also our moral duty to give them the respect that they truly deserve. After all, they have spent their entire life making our life meaningful. Number 7, tolerance. It is an important attribute of the value. Tolerance can be defined as a fair and objective attitude towards those whose lifestyle differs from yours. Tolerance is the quality of allowing the people to say and do what they like, even if you do not agree with or approve of it. To inculcate tolerance among the student is duty of the teacher. The teacher teaches the student about the tolerance and demonstrates in the school and classroom. For example, teacher allows the student to ask question in the classroom. The teacher should listen the student's answer with patience, either it is right or wrong. After listening the answer of the question, he makes some correction and motivates him for asking more question. If teacher show her patience, the student will imbibe it and they learn the tolerance. We take another example. Teacher should organize a debate in the classroom and see the level of tolerance of the student for listening the views of other students. If student's reaction is very quick and some students interrupt the other student when he speaks, it means he is lacking in tolerance. In this way, teacher will assess the level of tolerance among the student and he will take the preventive measures for making him more tolerant. He provides him his guidance like teach him a good listener will be the good speaker, and so first you listen the other calmly, then respond. Teachers will teach them about the good saying of the great person like Albert Einstein's statements that laws alone cannot secure freedom of expression. In order that every man present his views without penalty, there must be a spirit of tolerance in the entire population. Number 8, self-esteem. According to the Wikipedia, the Free Encyclopedia, the self-esteem reflects an individual's overall subjective emotional evaluation of his own worth. It is the decision made by an individual as an attitude towards the self. Self-esteem encompasses beliefs about oneself. For example, I am competent, I am worthy, as well as emotional states such as triumph, despair, pride and shame. Smith and Mackey 2007 defined it by saying, the self concept is what we think about the self. Self-esteem is the positive or negative evaluation of the self, as in how we feel about it. The school administration with the help of teacher can use these tests. Self-esteem is typically assessed using self-report inventories of the most widely used instruments. The Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale RSES is a 10-item self-esteem scale score that requires participants to indicate their level of agreement with a series of statements about themselves. An alternative measures the Cooper-Smith inventory uses 50 question battery over a variety of topics and asks subjects whether they rate someone as similar or dissimilar to themselves. If a subject's answer demonstrate solid self-regard, the scale regards them as well adjusted. If those answers reveal some inner shame, it considers them to be prone to social deviance. Thank you.